The divorce papers fell onto her hospital blanket before her husband even said hello. Eleanor Whitmore could not move. She had 3 broken ribs. Her lung was hurt. Her pelvis was cracked. She had been lying there for days, waiting for Grant to come in, take her hand, and tell her she would be okay. Instead, he brought a thick envelope and a pen. He stood at the foot of her bed in a perfect suit. His tie looked like it had never been touched by a human hand. His shoes shined like mirrors. He did not look like a man visiting his injured wife. He looked like a man finishing a deal. Sign now, he said. Sign while you are still feeling calm from the medication. Then he checked his watch. Then he checked it again, like she was only a task to finish before his next meeting. Grant Whitmore made one deadly mistake that day. He did not know Eleanor had an estranged father who was secretly one of the richest people on earth. He did not know that father had been watching from a distance for many years. He did not know that months ago, that father had quietly bought Grant's entire company through a hidden business structure. Every stolen dollar, every secret account, every lie Grant told, someone had been saving proof. What happens when a man who thinks he cannot be touched learns he has been playing a game against someone who owns the whole board? And what happens when a woman who feels crushed and powerless finds out she was never truly trapped at all? This story teaches a simple truth. Sometimes the prison door has been open the whole time. We stay inside, not because we cannot leave, but because we are scared to step through. People who hurt others depend on fear. They depend on silence. They depend on you believing you deserve the pain they hand you. This story is for every woman who has ever felt unseen. For every person who stayed too long because leaving felt impossible. For anyone who needs to hear that accepting help is not weakness. It is the first step toward freedom. The hospital room smelled like clean sheets and antiseptic. Bright lights buzzed softly overhead. The heart monitor beeped with steady patience. A drip clicked now and then as it fed medicine into Eleanor's veins. She had been staring at the ceiling for what felt like forever, counting tiles, trying not to scream when her body shifted even a little. The crash had happened on a weekday afternoon. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit Eleanor's car on the driver's side. She remembered the sound of metal folding. She remembered spinning. She remembered waking up to doctors shouting numbers and instructions she could not understand. Then darkness. Then pain. Then surgery. Then the long hours after, when she waited for her husband. Grant did not come on the first day. He sent flowers. A simple bouquet from the hospital shop. A card that said, thinking of you. Get well soon. No signature. No promise. Just flowers that began to droop almost right away. The second day, he sent a short message. Stuck in meetings. We'll try to come tomorrow. Now was the third day, and he finally arrived. Not to comfort her. Not to hold her hand. Not to tell her he loved her. He came to end the marriage. Eleanor stared at the envelope on her blanket. The words on the top page swam in her tired eyes. Petition for divorce. Irreconcilable differences. Division of assets. I've been thinking, Grant said. His voice was calm and smooth, the same voice he used when speaking to directors and investors. This is the right time for both of us to move forward separately. Eleanor tried to sit up. Pain exploded through her ribs. She gasped and fell back. Grant, she managed. Her throat was dry and rough. What are you saying? He pulled a chair close, not to sit beside her with kindness, but to explain. He sat down like they were talking over coffee. He crossed his legs like he had all the time in the world. I'll move my things out, he said. I'm staying at a hotel for now. My lawyer marked the important places. Sign while you're still in good spirits from the medication. Eleanor let out a short laugh. It was not happy. It was shocked. The laugh made her ribs scream. You were joking, she whispered. This has to be a joke. But he did not smile. His cold eyes stayed flat. He was serious. Worse, he had planned this. He had waited until she was stuck in bed, drugged, weak, and unable to fight him. We have been married for years, she said. Her voice cracked. Exactly, he replied. Long enough to know when something is not working. He checked his watch again. The gesture felt like a slap. My lawyer needs the papers by the end of the week, he continued. That gives you days to read it all. More than fair. Fair. He thought leaving his broken wife and demanding her signature was fair. Grant stood up. He brushed imaginary lint off his trousers. He adjusted his tie. He looked at her one last time. Not with love, not even with sadness, but with the same expression he might give a stranger on the street. I will be in touch, he said. Then he walked out. The door clicked shut. The sound echoed in the room like a gunshot. Eleanor stared at the envelope. She stared at the wilting flowers. She stared at the ceiling tiles she had memorized. She did not cry. Shock filled every space inside her. Her phone buzzed on the small table beside the bed. She reached for it slowly. Each movement sent pain through her body. The screen showed an unknown number. The same number that had called many times already. She had ignored it, thinking it was spam. This time, there was a message. The transcription showed on the screen. Eleanor, this is urgent. I know what your husband is planning. I know because I am the one who. The message ended there. Her heart rate rose. The monitor beeped faster. A nurse appeared in the doorway. Mrs. Whitmore, are you all right? Your numbers jumped. I am fine, Eleanor lied automatically. Just a bad dream. The nurse checked her, adjusted the drip, and smoothed her pillow. Your husband was here earlier, the nurse said. He did not stay long. Is he coming back? Eleanor looked at the divorce papers lying on her blanket. No, she said softly. I do not think he is. When the nurse left, The room grew quiet again. Eleanor opened the envelope with shaking fingers. Page after page of legal words. The death certificate of a life she thought she had. A sticky note pointed to a line. Sign here, written in Grant's neat handwriting. Like this was only another contract. Eleanor remembered their wedding day. The vows. In sickness and in health. For better or worse. She wondered how quickly sickness turned into an excuse to run. The unknown number called again. Eleanor watched it ring. She did not answer. Fear sat in her chest like a stone. Who was calling? What did they know? How could anyone know anything about her marriage? The medicine dragged her towards sleep. She tried to hold on. She tried to think clearly. But the drugs were stronger. Her last thought before she slipped under was Grant's face, and how he did not truly look at her at all, like she was already erased. Morning light hurt her eyes. Someone had opened the blinds. Sun filled the room like the world had not changed. The doctors had reduced her medication, and with clarity came the full weight of what happened. Grant's words replayed in her mind. The calm cruelty, the careful timing, the way he used her weakness as a tool. A voice broke the silence. I am going to destroy him. Eleanor turned her head. Maureen, her best friend, stood in the doorway. Mo worked at the hospital. She looked exhausted from a long shift. Her hair was tied back in a messy knot. Her eyes burned with anger. The whole floor is talking, and Mo said. That man came in here and handed you divorce papers while you can barely breathe. I swear I will hurt him. And Mo, Eleanor whispered. How did you know? Honey, this is a hospital. News travels fast. And Mo rushed to the bed and took Eleanor's hand. Her grip was warm and fierce. Tell me what happened. Eleanor told her everything. The envelope, the watch checking, the deadline. Mo's face darkened. That man is poison, and Mo said. And I should have told you earlier. Told me what? And Mo hesitated. She glanced at the door, then back at Eleanor. She made a decision. I have kept quiet for too long, and Mo said. He has been cheating on you. The room seemed to tilt. Eleanor grabbed the bed rail. With who? Vivian Holt, Missouri said. A junior executive at his company. I have seen them together. I have pictures. And Mo took out her phone and showed her. Grant and a blonde woman close together at a restaurant. Grant's hand on the woman's arm. Another photo showed Grant's car outside an apartment building. Another showed the same woman walking toward it. Then more. Dates spread across years. Eleanor's breath caught. Why did you not tell me? She whispered. Because you were not ready to hear it. And Mo said gently. Every time I tried, you defended him. You said he worked late. You said he was stressed. You said you would fix it. Eleanor felt shame rise like heat. She had defended him. She had wanted the marriage to be real so badly that she closed her eyes to signs she did not want to see. The late nights. The new cologne. The way he stopped touching her after her surgery. He had told her he did not want to hurt her while she healed. She thought it was kindness. Now, she saw it was distance. It started when I was recovering, Eleanor whispered. I thought it was me. I thought I was not enough. Tears finally came, hot and humiliating. And Mo held her and said nothing clever. She just held her. Then Eleanor's phone buzzed again. The unknown number. And Mo snatched it before Eleanor could react. Who is this? And Mo demanded. She is in the hospital. Stop calling. There was silence. Then Mo's face changed. Her anger melted into shock. Hold on, Mo said slowly. She handed the phone to Eleanor. He says he is your father. Eleanor lifted the phone with numb fingers. She pressed it to her ear. Eleanor, a man's voice said. Please do not hang up. Her stomach tightened. The voice was older, but familiar. Dad. She had not spoken to Raymond Calloway in many years. Not since her mother's funeral. Not since Eleanor discovered he had been rich the whole time while her mother fought cancer, and they struggled to pay for care. Eleanor had called him a coward. A liar. A fraud. She had cut him out completely. What do you want? Eleanor asked. Her voice was ice. I know what your husband is planning, Raymond said. I know because I have been watching, and I have taken steps to protect you. I do not need your protection, Eleanor snapped. I do not need anything from you. Please listen, he said. Your husband has been moving money. He has been hiding marital assets in offshore accounts. He plans to leave you with nothing. Worse than nothing. He plans to leave you with his debt. Eleanor's heart pounded. How do you know this? Because months ago I bought his company, Raymond said. The words did not fit inside her mind. Bought it. Yes, he said. I own the controlling interest through a holding structure. Grant does not know. No one knows. But I know everything he has done. Every stolen dollar. Every hidden account. I can help you if you let me. Eleanor's hand shook. Why? She whispered. Why now? You disappeared. You let my mother die. Why do you suddenly care? There was silence. Then Raymond spoke softly. I have cancer, Eleanor. Late stage. I have limited time left. I do not want to die with you hating me. Eleanor's fingers loosened. The phone slipped onto the blanket. Mo grabbed it, spoke briefly, and ended the call. What was that? Mo asked. Eleanor stared at the ceiling tiles again, the same ones she counted in the dark. Her husband wanted to erase her. Her father was dying and asking for a chance. And she was trapped in bed, unable to run from any of it. I do not know, Eleanor whispered. I do not know anything anymore. The next day, a man Eleanor did not know walked into the room. He wore an expensive suit and carried a leather briefcase. Dennis Oakley, he introduced himself. I am an attorney. I represent your father. Eleanor's first instinct was to tell him to leave. But exhaustion pressed down on her like a heavy blanket. Talk, she said. Dennis opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. Your father acquired control of Whitmore Technologies through a hidden purchase months ago, Dennis said. The purchase was legal and quiet. Why? Eleanor asked. Because he hired investigators to watch over you from a distance, Dennis said. He wanted to know you were safe. Eleanor's mouth tightened. He discovered you were not safe, Dennis continued. He found evidence your husband was unfaithful. He also found evidence of financial wrongdoing. Eleanor felt sick. Grant has been stealing from his own company, Dennis said. At first small amounts, then larger. He hid the money in offshore accounts. And he created accounts using your name, without your knowledge. My name, Eleanor whispered. If authorities find the theft, you could be blamed, Dennis said. Your husband has been arranging things, so you take the fall. The room seemed to spin. Eleanor gripped the bed rails. That cannot be true, she said. He would not. But even as she spoke, she remembered the divorce papers. The watch. The cold eyes. Of course he would. Your father bought the company to protect you, Dennis said. He controls internal records now. He can make sure evidence points to the correct person. Your husband. Eleanor swallowed hard. I do not want his help, she said bitterly. He let my mother die. He was rich. He could have paid for anything. Dennis's eyes did not flinch. Your mother asked him not to, Dennis said. Eleanor froze. What? Your mother knew about the money, Dennis explained. She made your father promise not to use it for her treatment. She wanted it saved for you, for your future. Eleanor shook her head. That is a lie. It is not, Dennis said. I was there. I have worked for your father for decades. I watched him break himself, keeping that promise. And I watched him break again when you cut him out. Eleanor's heart monitor picked up speed. A nurse stepped in, concerned. Dennis paused until the nurse left. I'm not here to force forgiveness, Dennis said. I am here to tell you the truth, and to offer you a choice. He placed a small drive on the table beside her bed. This contains records, he said. Bank transfers, messages, proof of theft, proof of forged paperwork, proof of the lies. Call me when you decide what you want. Your father will help you if you want it. The choice is yours. Dennis left. Eleanor stared at the drive. Such a small object. Such heavy consequences. She opened her phone and scrolled through old photos. Holiday parties. Trips. Dinners. Faces in the background. Vivian near Grant more than once. Grant looking distracted in pictures where Eleanor was smiling. The signs had been there. She had looked away. That night, alone, Eleanor made a decision. She would not sign Grant's papers. She would not accept scraps. She would not let him win. For the first time since the accident, she felt something stronger than pain. She felt anger. Eleanor checked herself out early, against medical advice and against Mo's loud protests. But Eleanor could not heal in that room, staring at the same ceiling, waiting for threats from lawyers. And Mo helped her into a wheelchair, then into Mo's old car. Every bump sent pain through Eleanor's body, but she clenched her jaw and endured it. Where are we going? Mo asked. Eleanor gave her an address. A small coffee shop downtown. Mo's eyebrows rose. That is Vivian's spot, Mo said. She goes there every morning. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you going to confront her? I'm not confronting her, Eleanor said. I am recruiting her. The coffee shop was small and polished, the kind of place that sold expensive drinks and perfect pastries. Eleanor sat in a corner with her walker beside her. Mo waited outside in the car, ready to rush in. Vivian Holt walked in right on time. She was blonde, well-dressed, and looked confident until she saw Eleanor. Her face went pale. She stopped near the door like she might run. Then something changed in her eyes. She made a choice and walked over. She sat down carefully. I wondered when you would find me, Vivian said. You expected this. I expected something, Vivian replied. A wife showing up was always possible. Eleanor studied her. She expected smugness. She expected victory. She expected the grin of someone who had taken what was hers. But she saw none of that. She saw fear. She saw tiredness. She saw something close to relief. You are not what I expected, Eleanor said. Neither are you, Vivian said. I heard about your accident. And the papers. Does everyone also know about your affair with my husband? Eleanor asked. Vivian flinched. Some people suspect, Vivian admitted. He was not careful. Silence sat between them. A machine hissed behind counter. A barista called out an order. I did not know he was married at first, Vivian said quietly. He told me he was separated. By the time I learned the truth, I was already trapped. Eleanor felt a strange shift inside her. Vivian did not sound like a hunter. She sounded like someone caught in a net. You try to end it, Eleanor said. Vivian's hands trembled around her cup. More than once, she whispered. Every time he threatened me. My job. My name. My career. He said he would ruin me if I spoke. Eleanor leaned forward. What else did he threaten you with? Vivian looked around, then leaned in. He used me to move money, Vivian whispered. Accounts in my name. Transfers I did not approve. If anyone investigates the missing funds, my name is everywhere. I could go to prison for things I never did. Eleanor felt the last puzzle piece click into place. Grant was using Vivian the same way he used Eleanor. Another person to blame. Another shield to hide behind. Do you have proof? Eleanor asked. I have everything, Vivian said. Statements, emails, even recordings. I have collected them for months. I did not know what else to do. Why not go to the police? Because I believed his threats, Vivian said. He said he had lawyers and connections that would crush me. I believed him. Eleanor thought about the drive from Dennis. The mountain of proof. The power her father held. What if I told you there is another way? Eleanor said. Vivian blinked, confused. My father owns his company, Eleanor said. Grant does not know, but my father has access to every record, every document, every transfer. Vivian stared as if Eleanor had spoken nonsense. The majority owner is a holding group, Vivian said. A company called Callaway Holdings. Callaway is my family name, Eleanor said. Vivian's mouth opened. She leaned back in shock. Why are you telling me this? She asked. Because I need your evidence, Eleanor said. Everything you gathered. Add it to what we already have. And in return, we make sure you are cleared. Every account in your name will be traced back to Grant. Every signature he forged will be proven. You walk away clean. Vivian's eyes filled with disbelief. That sounds impossible, she said. Maybe, Eleanor said, but I'm offering it. Vivian reached in her bag and pulled out a small drive. I carry this every day, Vivian said. I've been waiting for someone who could actually use it. She slid it across the table. I'm not doing this for you, Vivian said. I'm doing this because I refuse to go to prison for that man. Eleanor took it. It felt heavier than it should. Thank you, Eleanor said. Do not thank me yet, Vivian warned. Grant is dangerous when cornered. Be careful. Eleanor nodded. Then she asked one more question. Did you ever love him? Vivian was quiet for a long moment. I thought I did at first, Vivian said. But you cannot love someone who is not real. He was always acting. The real Grant is whoever benefits him in the moment. I was useful. That was all. And when I stopped being useful, he would have thrown me away too. Vivian stood. I am sorry, she said. For all of it. For being part of it without knowing. For not coming to you sooner. You are here now, Eleanor said. That matters. Vivian nodded once and walked out. Eleanor left the coffee shop with 2 small drives and a new understanding. Grant did not just betray her. He built his whole life on lies. Soon after, Eleanor went to her father's estate. She had not seen it before. A huge property with rolling hills, gardens, and a quiet lake. The house was large, made of stone and glass. It looked like a place from a magazine, but the air felt calm. Raymond met her at the door. He looked worse than Eleanor expected. His suit hung loose on his thin body. His face was pale. His eyes were tired. But they were her eyes too, the same color she saw in the mirror. Thank you for coming, Raymond said. Thank you for not lying to me, Eleanor answered. Her voice stayed guarded. He led her into a study lined with books. A fire burned softly in the fireplace, even though the season was warm. Eleanor sat carefully, protecting her healing bones. Dennis tells me you spoke to Vivian, Raymond said. She cooperated, Eleanor replied. That is the only part that went well. Raymond nodded. Good. We will need her proof. Eleanor looked at him, searching for the villain she had imagined for years. The man who let her mother die. She saw an old man, a sick man, a man holding hope like a fragile thing. I need the truth, Eleanor said. About my mother. Dennis said she knew, that she made you promise not to use the money. Is that true? Raymond stared into the fire for a long time. Yes, he said at last. It is true. Why? Eleanor demanded. Why would she do that? Because she knew where the money came from, Raymond said quietly. He turned to her. His eyes shone with pain. I was not always good, he said. I made choices I regret. I hurt people in business. I broke trust. Your mother knew. She stayed anyway, but she did not want blood-stained money to keep her alive. She said she would rather die than use it. Eleanor felt anger rise. So you just let her die? Raymond's voice cracked. What choice did I have? He whispered. She was my wife. She made me swear. She made me promise on what I loved most. I kept that promise even though it destroyed me. Eleanor blinked hard, fighting tears she did not want. If you want to hate me, you have every right, Raymond said. I have hated myself for many years. But your mother asked me to watch over you. From a distance. To step in only if you truly needed it. He opened a drawer and took out a bundle of old envelopes, tied with a faded ribbon. These are her letters, Raymond said. She wrote them for you. For your graduation. For your wedding. For your work achievements. She wrote them even though she would not be there. Eleanor took the bundle with shaking hands. She asked me to hold them until you were ready, Raymond said. Eleanor untied the ribbon and opened the first letter. Her mother's handwriting was shaky, but unmistakable. The words spoke of love, regret, and hope. Her mother wrote that her father loved her, even if he did not know how to show it. Her mother begged Eleanor not to let anger poison her life. She asked her to be brave, to be kind, and to choose happiness. Eleanor's vision blurred with tears. She read more letters. Each one felt like her mother was in the room, speaking gently, guiding her, holding her hand through time. Hours passed. The fire faded into embers. Raymond waited in silence. When Eleanor finished, she wiped her face slowly. I do not know if I can forgive you fully, she said. I'm not asking for full forgiveness, Raymond said. I am asking for time. I do not want to die as strangers. Eleanor looked at him. She did not hug him. They were not there yet. But she reached out and took his hand. I do not want that either, she said. Raymond's hand was weak, but he held on. Then he asked carefully, what do you want to do about Grant? Eleanor's jaw tightened. I want justice, she said. For me. For Vivian. For everyone he used. And if he will not give it willingly, we will take it. Raymond gave a sad smile, but pride lived in it. Your mother would be proud, he said. I hope so, Eleanor whispered. Weeks later, Eleanor met Grant for dinner. He chose the place. He chose the time. He believed he was in control. Eleanor arrived first. She dressed like armor. A dark dress. Her mother's pearl earrings. Shoes that hurt her healing body, but made her stand taller. She could walk now, slowly and carefully, but on her own feet. Grant walked in right on time. He wore his charming smile like a mask. He kissed her cheek as if they were friends. He ordered wine without asking what she wanted. He always did that. You look good, Grant said. Much better than in the hospital. Thank you, Eleanor said. I'm healing. Grant nodded, pleased, as if her healing proved he did not do anything too terrible. I want this handled like adults, he said. No drama. No delays. A clean break. He slid a folder across the table. My lawyer prepared a revised offer, he said. It is generous. You will find it fair. Eleanor opened it and saw the crumbs he offered. The house. Her car. Enough to cover medical bills. He spoke as if he were gifting her a fortune, not returning a fraction of what was already hers. Eleanor looked up. I've been thinking about our marriage, she said. About all the years. When did you change, Grant? Was it slow? Or was there a moment you decided I was something to throw away? His smile flickered. This was not the script he expected. What do you mean, he asked. I mean, Eleanor said calmly. When did you start sleeping with Vivian? The color drained from his face for an instant. Then he forced the mask back on. Eleanor, he said, you do not know what you're talking about. I know everything, Eleanor said. I have seen photos. I have seen records. I have seen emails. I know about the accounts that used my name. I know about your plan to leave me with debt while you vanished with stolen money. Grant's hand shook as he put down his glass. That is not true, he said. You cannot prove that. Eleanor leaned forward. I have spoken to my father, she said. Remember Raymond. He has been very interested in your work. Grant went still. Your father, he said. You have not spoken to him in years. We are speaking now, Eleanor replied. And he has been tracking every transfer you made. Every fake invoice. Every dollar you stole. Grant's mask cracked. Real fear appeared. What do you want? He whispered. A fair settlement, Eleanor said. A full accounting of what we own. Half of everything, including what you try to hide. And if I refuse, he asked, voice tight. Eleanor smiled. It was not kind. Then, my father hands the evidence to federal investigators, Eleanor said. And you spend many years in prison. Your choice. Eleanor stood. Pain shot through her body, but she did not show it. She picked up her bag and placed money on the table. I will be in touch, she said. And Grant, your deadline is the end of the week. More than fair, right? She walked out. In the parking lot, M.O. waited. One look at Eleanor's face, and M.O. grinned. How did it go? I made him sweat, Eleanor said. Good, M.O. said. He deserves worse. Eleanor's hands began shaking as adrenaline faded. I cannot believe I did that, Eleanor whispered. You can, M.O. said. You are finally doing what you should have done long ago. Standing up. Grant did not accept defeat quietly. Days later, Eleanor received a certified letter from his lawyers. It was not a peace offer. It was a threat. Grant claimed Eleanor was involved in the theft. He claimed she planned it and now tried to frame him. He demanded control of the home, control of assets, and money for emotional damage caused by her accusations. Eleanor read the letter again and again, feeling cold spread through her. He is doubling down, she told Dennis. That was always his plan, Dennis replied. If he could not escape, he would try to pull you down with him. Will anyone believe him? Eleanor asked. Not with the evidence we have, Dennis said. But he does not know what we have. He thinks you were bluffing. So what do? We stop letting him lead, Dennis said. We call his bluff. The next weeks became a blur of meetings and plans. Dennis built a team. Lawyers, accountants, investigators. They worked to create a case that could not be broken. Grant fought back with another weapon. Gossip. He spread whispers at work and in social circles. He said Eleanor was unstable. He said the crash damaged her mind. He said she was making up wild stories because she could not accept divorce. Some people believed him. Eleanor felt eyes on her in stores. Friends stopped answering her calls. Someone left a cruel note on her car. The worst moment came when Grant's sister called. Charlotte Whitmore screamed into the phone, accusing Eleanor of ruining their family. He gave you everything, Charlotte cried. He loved you. Eleanor swallowed her pain. Your brother cheated, Eleanor said calmly. He stole money. He served me divorce papers in a hospital bed. Lies, Charlotte snapped. Grant said you would say that. He said you trapped him. He said you planned this. Then Charlotte hung up. That night, Eleanor sat alone in the dark, wondering if truth mattered when lies were easier for people to accept. M.O. found her in the bathroom, sitting fully dressed beside running water that had turned cold. Honey, M.O. whispered. M.O. wrapped her in towels, made her drink hot tea, and sat close. Everyone believes him, Eleanor said through shaking breath. They think I am the villain. Not everyone, M.O. said. And listen, people like Grant are charming. That is how they survive. They convince others they're the good one, and their victim is the problem. It is not about you. It is about how good he is at lying. What if I cannot win? Eleanor whispered. Then you fight anyway, M.O. said. You do not let him win by giving up. Eleanor looked at her friend, at the steady strength in her eyes. I am scared, Eleanor admitted. I've never been this scared. Good, M.O. said softly. Fear means you understand the stakes. But you are not alone. You have me. You have your father. You have the truth. And truth matters, even when it feels like it does not. The next morning, Eleanor woke with new resolve. She was done waiting. It was time to end this. Weeks later, Grant walked into a board meeting at Whitmore Technologies feeling confident. His numbers looked good. His presentation was perfect. He believed Eleanor was bluffing. His lawyers told him the offshore accounts were buried. They told him the evidence would be weak. They told him his gossip campaign was working. Today, the majority owner would attend in person, and Grant was ready to impress. The boardroom filled with familiar faces. Directors, legal staff, company leaders. Then two people walked in that Grant did not expect. One was Dennis Oakley, wearing a name tag that marked him as counsel for the holding group. The other was a woman in a dark dress and pearl earrings. She walked slowly, like someone still healing. Grant's stomach dropped. "Eleanor," he said, voice thin. "What are you doing here?" Eleanor did not answer him. She walked to the head of the table, to the seat reserved for the majority owner, and she sat down. Dennis opened his briefcase. "The agenda has changed," Dennis announced. "We will be reviewing financial irregularities, a pattern of theft over several years." Grant tried to speak, but his mouth went dry. "We have bank records," Dennis continued. "Transfers, fake invoices, messages, proof of systematic stealing." He slid papers across the table. Grant's signature sat at the bottom of authorizations for offshore transfers. "We also have testimony from Vivian Holt," Dennis said. "She was used without her full understanding to move stolen money. She has provided sworn statements and supporting records." Another document, another signature, another piece of Grant's world collapsing. "Federal investigators are also involved," Dennis said. "They have been building a case. Today we decide whether the company cooperates fully." Grant finally found his voice. "This is a setup," he snapped. "A hostile takeover dressed as a crime story. These documents are fake." "They are real," Eleanor said quietly. Grant turned toward her. His eyes searched for fear. He found none. "Every dollar is traceable," Eleanor said. "Every wire transfer. Every forged signature. I have experts who verified it all." Dennis raised a hand. "We will vote now," Dennis said. "Immediate suspension of Mr. Whitmore's duties." Hands rose around the table. "All of them." "Full cooperation with investigators," Dennis said. Hands rose again. "Termination for cause," Dennis said. Again, every hand. Grant slammed his palms on the table. "You cannot do this," he shouted. "I built this company. I made you people rich. We owe you nothing," one director said coldly. "You stole. You lied. You used people. We will leave the charges to professionals," Eleanor said. "Investigators have deep interest in your creative accounting." Security stepped to the doorway. Grant looked around, searching for an ally. He found none. They escorted him out. From the window, Eleanor watched him leave carrying a box of personal items. He dropped a framed wedding photo in the parking lot and did not pick it up. Mo stood beside Eleanor. "How do you feel?" Mo asked. Eleanor stared at the empty space where Grant's power had once been. "I thought I would feel happy," she said. "I thought I would feel satisfied. I just feel tired." "That is allowed," Mo said gently. "You just ended a war." The divorce was finalized months later. Grant pleaded guilty to reduce charges. He served time. He paid fines. His career ended. His charm no longer protected him. Eleanor did not attend sentencing. She did not need to watch him in restraints. Closure did not live in watching him suffer. Closure lived in peace. The settlement gave her half of the legitimate assets. The home, the car, enough money to rebuild. The stolen funds were recovered and returned. Vivian's name was cleared. She moved away to start fresh. Later, Charlotte left a tearful message, apologizing for believing Grant. Eleanor met her for coffee. It was awkward and painful, but Charlotte was sincere. Slowly, they formed a careful friendship. Sometimes the people who understand you best are the ones who are also fooled by the same person. Raymond's illness grew worse, but the space between father and daughter grew smaller. Eleanor visited often. They sat in his study. They read her mother's letters together. They spoke about the past and about the future. One day Eleanor said, "I have been thinking about what I want next." Raymond looked at her. "And what do you want?" "I'm going back to work," Eleanor said. "They offer me a promotion. I want a normal life. A job I like. Friends. A quiet home. I want to go home in the evening and walk a dog." "A dog," Raymond said with surprise. "I'm getting a rescue," Eleanor said. "His name will be Biscuit." Raymond smiled, a real smile. "Your mother would approve," he said. "She always wanted you to have a dog." They sat in comfortable silence. "I am proud of you," Raymond said. Eleanor blinked hard. "For what?" "For who you became," Raymond said. "Not because you defeated Grant. Because you found yourself again." Eleanor felt tears rise. "I'm trying," she whispered. "I'm trying to learn who I am without being someone's wife. Without being someone's victim." "You were never only those things," Raymond said. "You were always Eleanor. You just forgot for a while." Eleanor took his hand. "Thank you," she said, "for watching over me. For waiting until I was ready. For giving me tools." "You saved yourself," Raymond said. "I only gave support." "Still," Eleanor said. "Thank you." Raymond passed away peacefully not long after. Eleanor held his hand when it happened. She stayed close in his final weeks, sleeping in a guest room, spending every possible moment with him. They talked about her mother, about mistakes, about forgiveness, about moving forward. In his final days, Raymond said, "Promise me you will not live looking backward. Do not let regret poison your years. Lie forward." Eleanor promised. A year later, Eleanor sat in a small garden outside a cottage. Biscuit slept in the sun near her feet. A cup of coffee cooled on the table. The morning was quiet and gentle. Hers. She had sold the large estate and gave much of the fortune to charity. She kept enough to buy a home that felt right. Simple, warm, a place for light, plants, and peace. The company was in good hands with leaders who shared ethical values. Eleanor served on the board but did not run daily operations. That was never what she wanted. Emma was planning a wedding. Eleanor helped with details, tasting cakes and laughing over decorations. Life began to feel normal again, not perfect, but real. Sometimes Eleanor still thought of Grant, not with rage, not even with sadness, but like a distant memory of a person she once knew. A chapter closed. A lesson learned. Her phone buzzed with a message from Mo about brunch and terrible dresses. Eleanor laughed and replied that she had strong opinions. She set the phone down and looked at her garden. She thought about what she had learned. Sometimes someone else has to remind you the door was never locked. Sometimes accepting help is wisdom. Sometimes the person you wait for is yourself. The sun warmed her face. Biscuit stretched and yawned, then fell back asleep. Somewhere far away, a bell rang out the hour. Eleanor smiled. "I did it, Mom," she whispered. "I found my way back." The breeze moved through flowers. Birds sang in the morning. Eleanor Calloway sat in her garden hole and free, not because someone rescued her, but because she learned to rescue herself.